Faux show.
Okay.
Episode 106, weighing in with Travis Hartman. I am B Money, the producer. That over there is Weekend Trav. This is the end of the year episode, folks. This is the third time we're doing an episode like this, Weekend Trav, where we go through our tops of the year. And what I mean by that, Weekend Trav, we're going to go through top money shots of the year, otherwise known as knockouts of the year. We're going to go fighter of the year. We're going to go fight of the year. We're going to go prospect breakout fight of the year, fighter of the year. We got a lot to cover, and we're just going to jump right in. Weekend Trav, first of all, attire looking great. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. This is post-holidays. You're probably seeing this around New Year's, so Happy New Year as well. But check that shirt out. Santa Claus has already come to town.
Santa Claus, but there's also palm trees. This is a Floridian Santa Claus outfit.
Yeah.
Weekend Trav had to go with that. And if you could tell, it was in the 30s, actually the 20s in Orlando. So Weekend Trav has a little bit of a hoarse throat. Still, I think since my kid has been up to the walking age, I've been sick for 8 weeks.
It's not hoarse. It's sultry and sexy. But Weekend Trav, we're going to jump right in. I want to jump right into what we deem as Moneyshot. If I can get the noise there. Moneyshot of the year, otherwise known as knockout of the year. You see all these polls everywhere, ESPN, other places, what they thought was knockout of the year. Weekend Trav, we want to jump right in. And we have a few that we want to highlight, and we'll go back and forth. But I'm going to toss it to you first. Give me one of yours. I'll give you one of mine. We'll eventually get to what we think was the best.
So I have a couple choices, but I'll say my first one. And this was because I don't think this guy gets enough love, but it was Naoe Inoue versus Nonito Donaire 2. And the reason I chose it was pretty good. The final knockout wasn't the best. It was leading up to that knockout. The way he dropped him and staggered him like really weird like. It was pretty awesome. And the fact Nonito Donaire used to be a pound for pound number one. You know how hard that is to be a pound for pound number one? Donaire used to be that way. And the first fight against Inoue, they went the distance. So the second fight was a second round knockout. So that's why I chose that as it's not my number one. It's close up there as knockout of the year because of the importance of that fight, the caliber of those two guys. That's why I chose it. It's a pretty good one too.
So I'm going to lob one out that we referenced last episode on episode 105, maybe 104. We talked about Chris Billum-Smith, the gentleman out there across the pond. He knocked out this name we can't even pronounce, Armin Xing.
I don't know.
Round 5 knockout. This is an up-and-coming cruiserweight. It's setting him up for a title fight. It was a nasty knockout. Check out on YouTube. We have it on a short video clip there as well. Just solid overall. We don't want to take a lot of time with that because we need to narrow it down to where our focus is here. Now, I don't think we've both come to a consensus, and that's fine for you at home.
I love that, though.
We want to show you different clips of all these things that were the top knockouts. Money shots of the year. Weekend Trav, what else do you got here?
So this one I think is a lot of people think about this one. And I actually chose the lighter weight guys for my knockouts of the year, which is actually surprising, but it's also good for boxing, was Lee Wood versus Mick Conlon.
Yeah.
Holy crap. One, that was a big upset too, actually. And it was in the 12th round.
Yep.
And he knocked this dude out of the ring even out. So, like, it was a great knockout.
Potential fight.
That is that's up there, probably my number one. Knockout of the year.
Okay, so you're at number one. I'm going to give you one that I don't think is number one, but it's up there, and that's one Deontay Wilder. We've talked many times on the show about him.
Yep, that's
Deontay Wilder, first-round knockout over Robert Helenius, and that was back in October 15th to be exact. Right. And you know, Weekend Trav, that was more or less reminding everybody of who Deontay Wilder is.
That dude punches harder than anybody on this planet.
We had already set him off to pasture, and he just wanted to remind folks, hey, heavyweight division,
I'm still here.
I might not have all the belts. I might not even get all the belts ever again, but I'm going to be a problem for people that they put in front of me. So that's not my top, okay, but that's one of them.
It's a good one.
Do you have another one to talk about? Or
You know what? I really don't.
Okay.
I think, but I know that I'm probably leaving out a lot of good ones. I know that I am for sure because I think this year we had a lot of spectacular knockouts. Like, it's really this one. I actually hate this one because I know I'm leaving out a lot of good ones. I don't have one, but
Well, we talk pre-production. It's tough because we're talking about things that are usually on a bigger stage. Yep. We know at local shows or regional shows, you're going to have a lot of ones that are just, oh my gosh, moments. And unfortunately, they just don't get the sort of notoriety that a lot of these other ones. So, yes, we're working on a little bit of bias there, as most of these lists do. But sorry, if we just want names that you at home might also know as well, or that you're listening to. If you're listening to us on the audio sources, tune into YouTube, because we're going to try to put some clips in here of these different knockouts. So obviously you can't see that
Check 'em out.
or hear that, but you can see it. My number one, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was a nasty knockout.
It was.
And
it was.
from beginning to end, and then afterwards, the antics afterwards. And this one, this is my top money shot of the year, knockout of the year, and that's Caleb Plant's knockout of Anthony Durrell, round 9. That was also on October 15th. The knockout itself was nasty, as you can see on the screen, but also afterwards, he was giving him the little Undertaker shovel, disrespectful. And I told you last year on the same episode, on the end of the year show, I like it nasty.
Yep.
I like it nasty.
Yep.
And I do like my knockouts of the year, and money shots nasty too.
Are we still talking about boxing?
Yes, we are still.
We're only talking about. But you know what? I like it. That was, even though that was yours, I think that's going to be. I will jump on board there with that. Even though Lee Wood versus Colin was a good one.
That was very good.
And this is why though. Because you're exactly right. There's a lot of great knockouts all over. Even Chris Smith was phenomenal knockout. The way he hit the guy, the way he hit the ground. But the reason why I think Caleb Plant and Anthony Durrell should be the knockout of the year consensus, because of the level of competition of both of them.
Yep.
Because Anthony Durrell's a former world champion.
Yep.
Caleb Plant, former world champion, lost to Canelo. His only loss, Canelo Alvarez.
Yep.
So when you never, and I say this all the time, but you generally never see knockouts in elite level fights. You don't, unless the heavyweight division. Other than the heavyweight division, in elite level fights, it's very rare. So when you do see a knockout, it's special.
Yeah.
And you're right. That knockout, whew, I've never seen Anthony Durrell get knocked out like that.
No. So
Ever.
that's special. So if you're in agreement, that is the Wayne with Travis Hartman
I'm gonna go
2022
with it.
money shot of the year, the knockout of the year. That's Caleb Plant knocking out Anthony Durrell, round 9, back in October. Weekend Trev.
Ooh wee.
Started the show off with a bang.
We sure did, dude. That was a bang. He buried him. It was the Undertaker.
Yeah. Now let's shift gears to upset of the year. Okay. So this could have, some other kind of similar ramifications. I know you had some you want to talk about here. So let's go upset of the year. What was your upset of the year?
Okay, my upset, I'm going to give you two. I'm going to give you the runner-up first.
Okay.
My runner-up, I think you have to throw in there, and this is for Weekend Trav's predictions, I have to throw it in there, is Usyk beating Joshua.
Okay.
Because I think it is an upset. It was, because Joshua was favored in the first one, and I think Joshua, Vegas odds, was favored in the second one, actually. I could be wrong on the second one, but I'm pretty sure he was a slight favorite on the second one, too. But I think that Usyk beating Anthony Joshua has got to be up there as one of the upsets, because we thought Joshua was going to be kind of the next coming in the heavyweight division. We thought he was going to contend with Tyson Fury. After he beat Vladimir Klitschko way back in the day to come onto the scene, we thought he was going to be the next coming. So I think it has to be up there a little bit, talked about upset of the year. Usyk beating Joshua the first time. Not the second time, the first time.
I
think
took
was
him
a big
both
upset.
times.
You did.
So
You did. And I was wrong both times.
So I'm sitting on the sidelines on this one. Who is your actual upset of the year?
I think everybody knows that has to be Bivol beating
Yeah.
Canelo. It was. We know that he bit off more than he can chew, going up, fighting a guy like Bivol, undefeated, light heavyweight, all that information. But listen, it was great. And it was upset of the year because he dominated him.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he squeaked by.
No.
He dominated him. He probably won 9 rounds to 3.
Yeah.
Something like that. Maybe 8-4 if you want to be very generous to Canelo. But I think upset of the year has to be Canelo losing to Bivol. Has to be.
I think you're right. All right, let's switch gears again. Not too far off of this, but let's go to fight of the year, contest of the year, fight of the year, Weekend Travel. I'll give you mine. There's a lot of them, folks. So there's a lot of fights you can really go through. But when you look at kind of the full scheme of it, not just that it was action-packed, it was an exciting fight. Not that there's back and forth, but also drama. Also what it did for that boxing, I don't want to call it division, but for women's boxing. My fight of the year, Weekend Trav, is Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. Back Madison Square Garden, back in April of 2022. This was a back and forth, 10-round split decision that went Katie Taylor's way, and a lot of folks might think otherwise too. It was a very close card. Very, very close card. But I think what this did to help catapult women's boxing as well, which we've mentioned before on the show. We hate calling it women's boxing. It's boxing.
Yep.
They're all fighters here, but we think that helped put them on the stage, as well as it showed fans this crap is exciting too. Okay, that was a great fight, top to bottom.
I don't really have another option. I was going to go the exact same one.
Bam.
Because, and listen, this is why I did. I remember watching that fight. Going into that fight, I was just like, okay, you know, they're putting women main event at Madison Square Garden. I think they're just trying to push it on us again.
Yeah, Jake Paul, you got Eddie Hearn promoting.
Blah.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, I'm not joking when I watched that fight. I was on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
Okay. So it brought out the emotions, and it also had the firepower because those girls were throwing.
Yeah.
Okay. Amanda Serrano can punch.
And those middle rounds when we thought Katie Taylor was basically left for dead, she battled back.
through. It was impressive.
It was a very, very solid contest, fight of the year. It's funny because last year I was looking at our prior notes and also our prior episode. We both also agreed on the fight of the year last year, and that was Memory Banks, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder 3.
Unequivocally.
That was definitely last year's.
Close. I think that last year's was more of a unanimous decision
Sure.
for us because I think everybody in the world watched that fight and were like, holy crap, this is amazing. It had all literally, that was a story. You couldn't even make a movie better than that where you stage it. That wasn't even staged, and those guys, the back and forth was amazing.
But for this year, though, for 2022, saying Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano being fight of the year, I don't think you're going to get many folks say, or many guys saying, oh, of course.
Yeah.
Because it's a women's fight, they're going to say that. No.
Dude.
It was a good fight.
No, it was. I'm
a great
telling
fight.
you, I'm a boxer my whole life. I'm a boxing fan more than anything. And I watched that fight, and I was enthralled. I was engaged, and that's what you want. That's the key demographic that you want to hit. You want people to be engaged. You want to be excited. You want them to be like, I want to see another one. I do. By the way, where's the rematch?
Exactly. And I think it's coming this coming year. So you know very well, if you've listened to us for a long time or a short time, you know this is an equal opportunity platform. This is the #1 beards, bourbon, and boxing podcast shot in Orlando, Florida, specifically Laureate Park, specifically in a boxing gym on the second floor of said boxing gym in the podcast room, shot on a Sunday or Monday. Today is actually Tuesday. Dropping on, maybe not this week, but dropping on.
Normally Wednesday morning at 7:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. In the world.
Very equal opportunity. There's no glass ceiling here.
No, and that's why it's awesome because this was not talked about off air. We did not script this. I 100% do agree with you.
He has his notes. I have my notes.
I have my little MacBook Air notes here. Stupid Mac, but stupid Apple products, actually, not Mac. But anyway,
Paper.
I agree that I think, listen, was there a bunch, and that's not, well, people think that we're picking a women's boxing match because there was nothing else going on.
There's plenty going on.
There was a ton going on.
Now, maybe
there was a lot of good
the
fights.
case could be made, and you mentioned it on the knockout. You can meet Lee Wood, Michael Conlon is pretty close because that was definitely like back and forth. You think so? I think that was a very, very good fight too. But I think overall, just the full picture of it. This to me is fight of the year. You're in agreement.
No, I'm not gonna fight that one. And I honestly, I don't even have a good runner-up, and that's not the. There's a lot of good fights,
but
I don't know what else to pick. That one sticks out of my mind.
But there were also a lot of fights that weren't surprising.
Yeah.
That went, when we talk like of Kambosos, Devin Haney, I don't think there was a lot of surprise with the way, maybe the first one, but the second one, how it played out. So there were big-time fights, but none that were just like, oh, I can't believe that. That was solid back in April.
Both people put up a fight.
Yeah.
The gravity of that fight, and that's where you have to think about these fights. You can't just think about the actual fight. There was a lot of action-packed fights.
Correct.
There was a lot of good fights. We're talking about the build-up, the selling out of Madison Square Garden, a woman's fight, main event, and it delivered. Yeah. And people in that stadium, you don't see it often, but they were, for women's fights, they were on their feet. Okay, they were on their feet, and that was, in my opinion, the most exciting. Not just women's fight. That was one of the most exciting fights in boxing in the world. And there was a couple other women's fights. Clarissa Shields versus Savannah Marshall. It was the build-up that was really big. I just don't think it delivered like this.
But this weekend, Trav, Madison Square Garden. Okay? Headlining Madison Square Garden. And it did well. we're looking forward to the second fight of that
Love
of these two ladies hopefully coming to bat next year. We shall see. 2023. That was our 2022 fight of the year. Weekend Trav. Let's move on. Let's talk about our breakout fight of the year. Sometimes people call this prospect of the year, but we like to expand a little bit. Who we think is going to really break out and shine. Maybe names you don't know, maybe names you do, but our breakout fighter of the year for basically for 2023 looking forward. But this year, who we think, he or she put his stamp or her stamp on boxing. Let's see what they do next year. Let's see what they catapult into next year. Breakout fight of the year. I'll throw it to you first.
So this guy only fought once, but I think his upside is huge. And I don't know why he only fought once, but I'm going to go with a guy named Jaron Boots Ennis.
Okay,
he's a welterweight. That division is packed. You got Crawford and you got Errol Spence that run that division. However, he only fought once. But as a fighter myself, I see different things. Even though he didn't fight the level of competition of those guys, I think maybe he's not my number one. He's close, but that's my first throw out there is Jaron Boots Ennis right off the top of my head. That's who I was thinking about is my breakout fight of the year. Even though he only had one fight,
That's
I
okay.
get it. It's only one. He did only have one. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. Injuries, what? Promotions, what? But the dude can fight.
but it's a matter of who you think will make a splash next
and
year.
I think it's him.
And you think it's Boots Ennis. Good call.
And
I like
think
that
the
one.
welterweight division is going to open up because I think after Crawford and Spence fight, I think Crawford and I think Spence might end up moving up actually,
Probably.
because he's a big dude,
Yeah.
or retire, one or the other, because he's had a pretty phenomenal career.
Sure.
He's had some injuries he dealt with because of the car wreck. He's had all of that. There's a lot more damage done on that guy than most people at his point in his career. I think that Boots Ennis is going to have a pretty exciting year.
Okay. Well, my breakout fighter of the year candidate here, Weekend Trav. And I know you don't like this one because typically when you get somebody that goes from the Olympic realm into the professional realm, it doesn't always turn out so great. Though Clarissa Shields
who you're
and
picking.
Savannah Marshall
I know-
have
now
made
I know
that
it.
case.
I didn't know off air, but now I do remember now.
I have to go with him because he looks like the full package with a few, things that need to be worked out. Richard Torres Jr., okay, 6'2", 230 pounds,
I knew it.
heavyweight.
I knew it.
2020 silver medalist in the Olympics. He's currently 4-0 in the heavyweight division, all by knockout. The guy looks strong. The guy looks good. Okay, all these knockouts came within 3 rounds. Yes, of course, he's going to be stacked against competition that's not very good.
Obviously.
I get that. But the guy has a killer mustache. And he has like this old school AC Slater haircut from Saved by the Bell. So
we love.
Yeah,
We love.
So Richard Torres Jr., and I say that in jest, but dude's an animal. I've seen his gym workouts. I've seen his fights. He looks like the real deal. But here's what I think. I think if he can somehow cut down to cruiserweight, because it's not really a deep division, there's not a lot of activity going on there.
Very true.
Dominate that a while, get your name out there a little bit more, really propel yourself. Now, I know that's a weight cut from where he's at, but I think he could roll that division pretty easily before maybe stepping in and being a smaller heavyweight.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with that one. I think
That's
it's
fine.
too early to tell. But even though he's only 4-0
He's
in
going
the
to make
heavyweight
a splash
division
next year.
Well, if he jumped in the water, he would make a splash because he's a
He's
big,
a big dude.
But listen, you're not far off on him. I just think it's early. But in heavyweight division, even though he's only 4-0, by the end of next year, he'll be close to 10 or 11-0 probably.
Yeah.
They're probably going to try to fight him as much as possible. So you could see a little bit. I think it's early. I think that for me, it's too early to give him prospect of the year. I think maybe the following year, if he's still undefeated after next year, 2023, maybe.
I think you will like him more when you start looking at his amateur ranks. Realizing that he went the hard way.
I think I like him more based on his mustache.
His mustache is awesome.
But I also need him to grow a beard so he can join our podcast because we're the number one beards, bourbon, and boxing podcast in the world.
Yeah.
But in our demographic. But yeah, I think it's too early. That's all. 4-0 is too early for me, but I'm not saying you're wrong.
Oh, he's going to break out.
Last year, I did say you were wrong when you picked.
I picked George Kambosos last year, so I was wrong.
What year did you pick the Puerto Rican, though? I thought that was last year.
Which one, Xander Zayas?
No. I
Oh,
agree with that
Berlanga
one.
was the year
Berlanga.
prior.
Was it? Mm-hmm. Okay, it was just so early, I guess. But, okay. Then last year, Kambosos wasn't bad because he was undisputed still.
Correct.
Okay,
but
so it wasn't bad.
Yeah, but still.
It wasn't.
I was riding the coattails on that one, but when I picked Berlanga, maybe he's not like the greatest thing since sliced bread, but sucker has headline Madison Square Garden. He's brought the Puerto Rican community into it. I mean, Xander Zayas was one you picked, and I agreed with that as well. This was not last year, but the year prior is when we picked those guys. So we're doing okay.
I still have one more pick then.
Okay.
My first one was Jerome Boutinis, but I have another
Oh,
one.
you have two?
Yeah.
Okay, I only had the one.
Xander Zayas.
Okay.
That's my other pick.
Going back.
Because he's there. He's there. I think he hasn't really he fought a decent level competition, but I think this year we're going to see.
Yeah, they need
and
to
that's
put
why I
a real
think
test.
Jerome Boutinis for sure. Xander's they're both right there.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be exciting. And the reason why I picked him because he's Puerto Rican.
Mm-hmm.
He's got that following. Mm-hmm. And because of Berlanga falling flat on his face, who was Puerto Rican, who headlined Madison Square Garden, but now
falling flat on his face. It's just not exciting.
In my opinion,
he's just not exciting.
He was flat on his face a long time ago. But in my opinion, he fell flat on his face in that fight. That was my opinion.
Okay.
Because he won.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But
it
was not exciting.
No, it wasn't even that it was exciting. He was
more
exposed.
He didn't look good. Yeah.
To like the elite level.
Well, we knew that. What I was hoping when I picked him 2 years ago was that
because
with enough
time,
they would be able to shape him properly. No, they didn't. They didn't.
So I think those people that were following Berlanga 100% are going to transition over, and they're like, "Oh my God, okay." Xander Zayas actually has the boxing ability.
He's a gym animal.
Has everything. Has the work ethic. Has all of that. And I'm not saying Berlanga didn't have the work ethic. I think he probably worked. I don't know. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. That's a question mark up in the air. But there's no question marks for me with Xander Zayas.
Yeah.
This guy, super talented, had an amateur career as well. Yep. I think that Jerome Boutinis and Xander Zayas have the ability to have a phenomenal year.
You got to pick one. Who are you picking?
I got to go with Jerome.
Okay.
I got to go with Boutinis. I just think he's got a higher upside too. But because he's Puerto Rican, and they have a big, huge heritage of fighters with Miguel Cotto, with Felix Trinidad, and I think that he's going to have a big following. He's going to get more of a platform than Jerome Boutinis will.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I'm putting him up there.
Yeah.
But I think talent-wise, Boutinis is a little further along in his career too. And that's why I think next year will be his bigger year.
Yeah.
And he's going to fight more than once. He will have to. If he wants to have a big year, he's going to fight 2 or 3 times next year. And 2023, so 2023 is the Jordan year. It's 23, right? Ennis is going to have his Jordan year.
Okay.
He's going to have a phenomenal year next year.
Hopefully we won't be waiting for the 4-5, the 45 Jordan year. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, for our listeners, for our subscribers, if you're not subscribing yet to our content, please do so. If you're following us on YouTube, on Rumble, on Spotify, on iHeartRadio, on all the different audio sources. Huh?
I forgot of Moneyshot, a knockout candidate.
Well, we'll get to that then. We'll circle back.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll circle back. Okay, because we'll throw something else at people. This was the end of the year show. This is where we look at things in the past. We look at 2022 and we start to close the book on it, and we look forward to 2023.
We're just turning the page.
Before we look to 2023, and Weekend Trav's not prepared for this question. Tell me your other knockout. Tell me your other knock that you forgot about.
Oh, Crawford.
Oh, God.
It was a phenomenal knockout.
Okay.
It was a phenomenal knockout. You can
yes,
tell
it was.
That was a phenomenal
I'm sorry,
knockout.
it's on all these ESPN lists and everything else because it just happened. That's why everyone's talking about it.
But it was pretty phenomenal.
It was good.
No, it was pretty phenomenal.
But it was expected. He should have done that.
I don't think it...
He should have done that.
I think he was supposed to go the distance with that guy because that guy goes the distance with everybody. Tough dude. The one punch...
because Crawford only goes the distance with you. Bang.
I like
okay.
that. Boom.
That is the transition point.
There.
That's the transition point.
Okay.
Okay. So, you're not ready for this.
The penultimate.
What are you, as a boxing fan, as a boxer yourself, you look at 2023, give me one thing. Only one. Don't give me this hedging yourself like, well, we got this, but it's kind of this. But
Okay.
What's the one thing you're looking forward to in 2023 as a boxing enthusiast?
Crawford Errol Spence getting made. I'm looking forward because here's the deal. People complain about boxing over UFC because the big fights happen in UFC because Dana White makes them happen. Big fights still have happened. We had a phenomenal year. I say we as I'm a boxing. Boxing had a phenomenal year. There was great fights. There was great knockouts. Listen, even though Jake Paul didn't knock on Anderson Silva, bro, that was a phenomenal fight. That fight, The only reason I didn't put it up there with the Katie Taylor Serrano fight because Jake Paul's not ingrained veteran professional boxer. I didn't put him up there because the importance of it was more on there. But that was a great fight.
Which fight?
Jake Paul versus Silva.
Oh,
that was a great fight. So my point is, leading up to 2023, the big fights need to happen, and I think they do happen. A lot of them did happen still in 2022, but the one major thing that I'm looking forward to in 2023 is Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence, and I predict without a single doubt in my mind, it will happen in 2023. If it doesn't, it will never happen.
I'm going to give you my one that I'm looking forward to for 2023, which will transition us into the upper echelon, the coup de grace, or what would be the top of the top category. That would be Boxer of the Year, like our MVP. But what I'm looking forward to in 2023, hopefully, is what I want to see: Devin Haney, Lomachenko.
It's going to happen. I 100% think it's going to happen.
So that transitioning into, and I will go first here.
I like it.
My Boxer of the Year, though I'm not a big fan of his, I would say is Devin Haney. He took down George Kambosos not once, but twice. He's the undisputed champion at lightweight 135. Lomachenko looks like it should be set up to happen. Now he's Haney's a practicing Muslim, so he wants it to happen before Ramadan, which would be before the end of March. So we could possibly see what I want to see happen in 2023 prior to March. If they can get everything, if they can get the T's crossed and the I's dotted, we could see that blockbuster matchup, and Devin Haney then possibly moving up to 140 from there. So
there's blockbuster.
Oh my gosh! So that's what I'm looking forward to 2023. But that's also my 2022 Boxer of the Year is one Devin Haney, the undisputed 135 champ.
That's your Boxer of the Year.
Boxer of the Year.
Nice. Well, I will let you know that's my runner-up fighter of the year.
Good.
Is actually
Devin
Haney.
Flowing, because we didn't talk about this.
We didn't, and he's on my notes. He's my runner-up fighter of the year because he beat Kambosos not once but twice, and not only did he beat him once but twice, he went over to Australia and beat him twice. The first time he didn't even want to go. The second time he thought he would be able to get out of that rematch clause and not go over there. He was like, you know what? F this. I'm going to go beat him on his home again. And he did. Yeah. And if we go back to any of the podcast episodes, even 2 years ago, I say this to some of my fighters too, and nobody believes me, and I've said this for a long time. I even said, we got to find that episode where we were talking about Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, all those guys. And I said it on there. I still believe it. Devin Haney has the ability, his style of fighting, how he fights, his smarts, all of that, to run that division long term. And I think we're going to see that because I think he beats Lomachenko when they fight.
I don't know if we see it.
I don't think a lot of people beat him.
I don't think we see it long term, only because he probably moves up. Even if he beats Lomachenko.
But who's in 140? Because I actually think Josh Taylor, who was my, prospect or fighter, whatever,
he was breakout last
year. He's going to rematch Catterall at 140 in February, I think, or March. They postponed it. But anyway, he's going to rematch Catterall, which I still had him. You look at my thing. I still had him winning barely. But a lot of people thought Catterall won. Rightfully so.
That rematch has been shelved for a little while, but yeah.
Rightfully, we had over 2,000 views on that. Awesome. But rightfully so, I think people could have thought Catterall won that. But Josh Taylor didn't have to rematch him, but I think it's the right thing to do. If you want to be a great fighter, you rematch. Because Floyd Mayweather fought Castillo once. It was a very close fight. Rematched him, fought him very close again still, but he still rematched him and beat him, twice. So I think great fighters are going to have this on the way up. Well, I think he's going to be a great fighter.
That'll definitely happen. That's fine. But Devin Haney is your runner-up, okay? So I understand that. I don't think there's anyone that can really touch him. Lomachenko's like the litmus test just because he's the name.
Not even the name. He can fight, though.
But he's just, I think his age really, I don't know. We'll see. So that's mine. That's your runner-up. Who's Weekend Trav? Travis Hartman. Who is your 2022 Boxer of the Year?
It's not a sexy pick. It's not a glamorous pick. But it's a pick that you have to pick. It's Bivol. Dimitri Bivol. He beat Canelo, and then he followed it up by beating a young, undefeated Zurdo Ramirez, who was like 39-0 or something, and beat him handily.
Right.
And I don't think that Canelo wants that rematch. If he does it, props to Canelo for always reaching out to fight the best. But Bivol's good. And I think that you can't take away from him what he did last year. He's a big-time fighter, and he fought 2 big-time fights. Big-time fights, and he won them both.
So there you go.
Easily. I think it's not the sexy pick. It's not the commercial pick. It's not the
No, it
corporate
is.
pick.
Actually, it is. That's the sexy pick.
Really?
That's what everyone's
I don't
picking.
think Bivol's sexy. But
Well, no.
It's,
Well, who are these
what,
guys
what
are?
I mean by sexy
Which
is
one of
like
these
an
guys are
Anthony
sexy?
Joshua or Tyson Fury or Canelo Alvarez
Tyson
or
Fury is
Errol Spence.
not
You
sexy.
could pick Errol Spence because he did phenomenal.
Yeah.
You could. So Bivol is just not the guy that
But
I think
it's-
commercial.
but
He's
it's-
not a commercial
No, he's
guy.
not a commercial guy, but it's name recognition because he beat Canelo
Yeah.
Alvarez. How
He
many
beat the
guys?
man.
There's not many guys I could say they've done that.
No.
So
Floyd Mayweather.
That being said, yes, early into Canelo's career. So
24 years old.
yeah, Dimitri Bivol.
I got to give it to him. I think that my hands are tied on this one. I don't even think that I had a choice. I think it has to be him. And the only reason that I don't pick Usyk, by the way, is because
Neither of us said his name.
and because I think it's clear that maybe Joshua wasn't the best ever.
No.
I think 100% we could say Canelo, he's not the best ever, but I think Canelo without unequivocally is the face of boxing. So when you beat that guy, you're pretty
That's a big
good.
thing. That's
So
a big
yes,
deal.
that's why I didn't choose Usyk. Did phenomenal, had a phenomenal year. It's hard to discredit that,
Yeah.
but I just think I'm only discrediting it because I don't think
Well,
Joshua's who we thought
I
he
didn't
was.
pick him because I wasn't surprised.
Yeah, because you picked him.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think he beat him. First of all, he only fought the one time. He beat him early, or late last year to win the belts.
Usyk, what they didn't fight twice in 2022.
I thought it was only the once because the war and all this other stuff.
You could be right.
Anyways,
actually.
it doesn't matter. Either way,
Yeah.
my boxer of the year, Devin Haney. You are taking Dimitri Bivol. Both good picks, folks.
But my runner-up was Devin Haney. We didn't even talk about this, so that's very good.
Yeah, that's
B
very
Money's
good.
eye is really good. B Money's getting a lot better.
So here's what I would say, folks. What did we get wrong? Comment below. Send us your feedback. Who do you think is the money shot knockout of the year? Who do you think is the boxer of the year, the fight of the year? What did we miss? What about the prospect or breakout fight of the year? Who are guys and gals we should be paying attention to leading into 2023? We want to know. This isn't me just trying to get hits and stuff like that. We actually want to know because we love to digest this stuff. We love to go in and pick apart fights and seek them out and have content that you all want to hear and listen to and say, those guys are nuts, or hell yeah, I agree with those guys. Comment below. Give us some feedback. We would love it. We love interacting with you all. Weekend Trav, we've talked about what we're looking forward to 2023. 2 potential fights here, which better happen, especially on your side, Crawford, Errol Spence. That better happen.
if it doesn't happen in 23, it'll
Then
never
I'm
happen.
tired of talking
It'll
about
never
it.
happen.
We
It
talked
won't.
about it for 3 years.
I'm telling you, it'll never happen. If it doesn't happen in 2023, it'll never happen.
What else am I missing? We're talking about this?
Oh, yeah, what we're drinking.
All right, so we're going to wrap up the episode talking about the bourbon stuff, okay? And this is for Dale because he likes to keep us accountable on what we do. Because since we say we're number one beard bourbon boxing, we got to talk about bourbon. We never talk about our beards,
We don't very often.
Not very
Well,
often.
We both have.
but I use product. I mean,
so-
I use a certain
Do you?
beard
Well,
soap
you know
twice
what?
a week and
Where
stuff.
you got beard products? I use 0 products. This is all
I do.
natural.
You know what? Go to YouTube. I'm going to put
All
links
natural.
for my beard products
There
that I
you-
put in. Bingo.
Okay, there we go. That's going
Bingo.
to bring the bourbon, beards.
But it's going to be
maybe
about
the
beards.
boxing.
That's going to be.
I like it, dude.
Okay, so we are drinking Rocky Mountain Stranahan's single barrel. This is single malt whiskey. Hold on, let me rip some of
Remember
this.
this fact, too. When we talk about a lot of stuff, guys, remember, we've said this before, that not every bourbon is created equally.
No.
They
So-
have barrel select, single barrel matters.
Which this is also a barrel select for Talk of the Town restaurants. I don't know if
Yes.
it's specific to like a certain name of the restaurant. Is that the name of the restaurant?
So yes, Talk of the Town Restaurant is a group that was founded in 1974 by a father and son team of Charlie and Rod Woodsby. Talk of the Town Restaurants encompasses 6 restaurants in Central Florida, including Charlie's Steakhouse,
Oh, yeah.
Fishbones,
Yep.
Texas Cattle Company, and Vito's Chop House.
Oh, very good. Yeah.
Amazing.
Dang, we should drink this there.
I know.
On air.
Agreed.
So
We're gonna rate it.
this is I've just been drinking it like not even really paying attention, and you know what? That's usually a good sign. Because I think if you watch our episode 105, whatever we were drinking, the whole time I would sip it, I'd be like, oh, it was this.
Oh, it was that.
Ugh.
It was
Let's
St.
just put that
Augustine.
back
We're
there. It's
sorry.
gross.
We got a bad batch.
So
rating.
this from Denver, Colorado. We want to make sure we're giving the highlights to Stranahan's, Rocky Mountain Stranahan's. Talk of the Town Restaurants, thank you very much for this bottle. Okay. Let me wet my whistle.
Wet your whistle. That's what she said.
Actually, she didn't.
Haha.
Wow, that's really good. So as always, I always have a little bit of ice in there. I let it kind of blend into it. So I don't like taking things neat.
As you know, he likes some nasty.
Yeah.
As he said at the very beginning of the podcast.
So this is barrel aged 5 years, 3 months, according to the label.
Made in limited runs at the Stranahan's distillery.
I'm trying to get the notes.
I don't think I've ever had a... Have we ever had on the show something from Colorado? I don't think we have.
We may have. We've done this for 106 episodes.
106.
That's a lot.
Which is like, we're probably getting close to triple-digit bourbons that we've tried. Bourbons and whiskeys, because this is a whiskey.
We've doubled up on a lot, but
yeah, we have.
We've definitely gone over 50 for sure.
For sure. We're getting up there.
Weekend Trav. I'll rate
proof.
mine. So we always rate it 0 to 10 boxing gloves. Obviously 10 boxing gloves being like the best ever, which you can't rate anything 10.
No, and we've only had what was our highest rating?
Probably Blanton's, I would think.
And that was what? Barely over an 8.
And typically what happens with Blanton's is because it's hard to like get your hands on anyway, so that kind of bumps the number up. Taste-wise, this is very good. I wouldn't say there's anything that's like jumping out. There's not like a vanilla note. There's not like anything that's really like standing out other than the fact that it just tastes smooth and it's good.
I'm trying to taste it. I'm trying to.
There's a little bit of a bite on it, but not much. Not enough to where it's like too bit. Like,
no.
If you just like drinking whiskey, you're gonna enjoy this. It's an enjoyable beverage. Huh.
What's your rating, B-Money?
0 to 10. I'm gonna give this. It's going to be on my higher end. It's going to be my higher end. I'm going to give it a 7.9, which is super high for me. Super high.
I'm trying a little method right now that I don't ever do, but I'm trying it.
Now, you've gone through a 3-point process with us, and I think the 3 points change every time you mention them.
They do. It's somewhere around there. How I feel. How it tastes, and I forget the third. I don't know. I feel pretty good. Tastes pretty good. Forget the third. Whatever the third is, I don't even know, but it probably matters.
I couldn't even start with you on price point or anything because I have no idea.
Yeah, no, we don't, because this Talk of the Town restaurant group was amazing, and they let us try this stuff. Goodness, I don't know what I taste. That's what I'm trying. I know my rating, but I'm just trying to figure out what I taste, and I don't know yet.
You like it because it's sterile? It's sterile, and you like the taste?
It's a little better than that. But I'm trying, like... I have a little bit of a cold or something.
There's some vanilla.
That I've had.
That's probably going to be tough for you to really...
I know, that's why I'm trying to really focus in on it.
So there is a little... There's a very minimal on the back end, a little minimal on the sweetness factor. Not overpowering at all, so I don't want you to think that if you're listening to us. But it's smooth. It's smooth. You get a little heat, and then you get kind of that sweetness factor on the final.
I can't do
on
it.
The nose.
So you did a 7.9.
Which is very high for me.
I know, and I didn't think you were going to go that high. So... I got to go with what I already had in my mind, and I was going to a 7.8, which is very high. I've only done an 8.0.
This is one of our best.
Yeah, so I'm going to go 7.8.
So we're going.
I wanted to do a 7.9, but since you already did a 7.9, I wasn't going to go the exact same. So I'm going 7.8.
Not an echo chamber.
But I know that's why I had to do something different.
So
I highly recommend this, and we've had tons of bourbons that we don't recommend. Tons.
And so what were all the restaurant chains? I heard Vito's. And did you say...
So it has 6 restaurants in Central Florida. Talk of the Towns. Charlie's Steakhouse.
Charlie's is very good.
I've never had any of these, and I'm going to try
them.
I've
gone to Charlie's.
Charlie's Steakhouse. Fishbones.
Fishbones I've gone. Is very good, too.
Texas Cattle Company.
Nope.
Vito's Chop House.
Vito's I've been to.
That's only 4, so I don't know. Maybe there's like 2
of
each of those.
They might have... There's other locations of definitely Fishbones. Go support, and ask for Rocky Mountain Stranahan single barrel of the Talk of the Towns.
And it's a family-owned business, and I love that. They started it in 1974.
Very good.
I love that. And I believe something about they have a really, really nice one over in Tampa, I believe it is, or Clearwater area. And I believe that they grew all that in-house, and I think it's It's wood fired, I believe, is why it kind of separates them from the different people.
So we can there's a Vito's on International Drive here in Orlando.
Yep,
Charlie's,
yep.
I think it's down there too. But I've been to
correct.
both.
I
They're
haven't
very
been
good.
either.
And it's also the ambiance. I think Vito's has more of. I might confuse Charlie's and Vito's on this one, so I apologize. One of them has kind of like that darker Chicago type atmosphere when you go in. It's just a cool setup. So I don't know. Go support them. This is very good. If you go to one of those restaurants,
I
ask
recommend
for
it.
If you drink a whiskey, go for it because this is super, super good. 7.85 on the boxing glove scale. That's from us here at Wayne In with Travis Hartman. Week in Trav, final thoughts. Episode 106, end of the year.
Oh my gosh, what a year. It's been a great year. Has there not been a year since we started doing this? We're on episode 106. Okay. Oh my, that blows my mind. So this is our third year ender, right? I haven't, not one time yet have I said, it was a ho-hum year. But I promise you, if we have I will say it. It wasn't. It was a great year. We tried some awesome bourbons. We created a bourbon room. We did a lot of different stuff with the podcast.
I grew hair.
And B Money, if you look at some of our early podcasts, he had a shaved head.
Yeah.
If you thought that he shaved his head because he was going bald, you would be wrong.
Yeah.
His hair is amazing.
This is not because of
He's got a good hairline.
This isn't because of Hims or Rogaine.
B Money's got a good hairline, okay? Let's just put that out there. He's got a good hairline. So I would love to say, for all those people that celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever. I wouldn't be offended if you came up to me and said Happy Hanukkah. If you said anything else, I wouldn't be offended. I appreciate
Happy
people
Kwanzaa.
wishing me the best.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm never offended no matter what you say. You can come on our podcast.
Happy Festivus. A Festivus for the rest of us.
I have no serious grievances to air to the boxing world in 2022.
I do to other people, but
for boxing world,
Yeah.
I don't really have that many because I think we had some pretty awesome stuff. There were some fights that didn't happen that we wanted to, but there were some also fights that happened that we didn't know that were going to happen that would be phenomenal.
it was a good year.
So it was a great year. Like, I think it was a great year. So I'm looking forward to 2023. I'm looking forward to the Jordan year for all of us here at Weighing In with Travis Hartman.
Yep.
And I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year. I echo the same. This is the echo chamber part. Happy New Year to everybody that's listening to my voice and Weekend Trav's voice. We do appreciate the support from all of our subscribers and followers and listeners. If you have yet to subscribe, please do so because that just helps us. It helps our metrics, helps us feel good. Like, oh, we're actually making a difference, or at least people enjoy hearing us, or maybe hate it so much that you subscribe so you can just blast us. Fine with that too. But just the fact that we enjoy spending time with one another. This is one of my best buddies here. We just have a good time drinking, talking boxing, talking life, which we've kind of gravitated away from, which helps shorten the episodes a bit.
But you know what? I got to add in real fast that our podcast in 2022 has grown more than it's grown ever.
Percentage-wise, it's doing great.
Views are up.
And it's
our subscribers are up. Like, I appreciate it.
We definitely do. So I appreciate all of you all listening to us. I'm looking forward to 2023. My mindset of things in the past year has definitely changed and switched from where it had been prior. And so I really look forward to not necessarily only the future, but also every day and every moment. So I appreciate today. And then as we enter tomorrow, I'll appreciate tomorrow. But to me, that's the real focus, folks, is focus on the daily. Where are you at with one another? Connectivity. We're all connected in some way, shape, or form. So that being said, Weekend Trav, here's to 2022 and to a great 2023. Happy New Year. We appreciate all of y'all subscribers. Subscribe below. That there is Weekend Trav.
That there is B Money, a.k.a. producer, a.k.a. guy who has got a really nice hairline and really nice hair, and he's not bald. He just shaved it for the fun of it.
Absolutely.
Amen. God bless.
God bless.